So it's been a couple of weeks. Actually, I think it's been like almost 2 months since I've released an episode, and I apologize for that. And I think the main reason why is because it's just the motivation to do these has been extremely difficult. And it's really difficult to do a podcast and do it where you're kind of playing off of yourself and just your own mind. And yes, I have had episodes in the past with friends and stuff like that, but it comes down to the fact that it's just really difficult to do a podcast with people who are not as committed. And I probably shouldn't say that because like it's, in a way it's not fair to say that they're not committed, but at the same time it's like, hey, I want to do this podcast, and then they don't like go out of their way to say, hey, let's do it. So it's one of those things. And I think for now, I'm going to keep this podcast as like kind of a solo podcast. And I'm going to keep it just real as possible and just kind of talk about the things for the last week. And so since it's been like a month, I'm going to talk about just what's been going on the last month and what my plans are and just things. And I do have plans. I will say that I do have plans to bring on guests as the podcast goes, and we'll see like when those get lined up and everything like that. But for the most part, for now, it's just going to be a solo podcast where I'm just going to go off the riff. It's unscripted. This episode, I don't even have any notes. I didn't even come up with any notes. I just have thoughts in my mind. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to cover like, collection stuff. Like what have I gotten this month or within the last week? What have I picked up? What am I looking forward to getting? Movies I've seen, TV I've watched, and just some just general like stuff. So I think I'm going to start off with Marvel Zombies because that's fresh in my mind. And if you watching this episode early access, which if you're interested in getting these episodes a week early, I do release them on, I think Mondays when I release them. Release them on Mondays on MajinPlanet.com. You just need a free account to do that. Just sign up for free, and then you can listen to this episode to released on Monday. And then it goes live to the general public and everybody for free on YouTube and on other podcasting platforms on Thursday. That's when I'll be posting them up. So that being said, so Marvel Zombies is already out, and I have watched all 4 episodes. However, I'll be releasing those episodes uncut. Do require a Super One membership for $4.99 a month to watch them, and those will be on release every other day until I think the last episode I'll release on Friday. And I want to talk about it. And if you haven't watched Marvel Zombies yet, that's okay. You can just skip ahead, or watch this after you've watched after you've watched all 4 episodes. So at first I was a little bummed out the way I'll try to keep it as vague as possible. I don't spoil it, but I was a little bummed out how it ended. But then I did some research on it, and I found out that the reasoning why it was even only 4 episodes to begin with, and the way it ended the way it did, it's intended to be a movie. Like the original plan was for Marvel Zombies to be a animated movie. But because of legal rights with Spider-Man, they either had 2 options. They either cut Spider-Man out completely or cut it up in 4 episodes and release on Disney Plus as 4 episodes instead of a movie. As I was watching it, I was like, I was thinking to myself, this should be a movie. This should be a movie. And I really wish that they were able to do that. But it is what it is, But it ends. Some people not like how it ends. And at first I was like, well, this is ending in a very what's going on here? And I think it was a good ending. I think it was a good ending, and it's definitely something I'd probably watch again because it had me on my toes, and it's just like, this is what happens when you write a script and you follow your script and you have a complete story, and then you start filming, aka start animation. Because it was really, really good. And if I were to say take these 4 episodes and make it say it's a 2-hour movie, it is the best movie Marvel has done since probably Shang-Chi. And that's probably pretty bold to say that. And I did enjoy Fantastic Four, and I did enjoy Thunderbolts, and I did enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I did somewhat enjoy Brave New World. But if I was going to say since Endgame, the best thing they have put out has been probably Loki season 2. I think Loki season 2 was better than season 1. That's just a personal opinion. And then the first season What If was pretty okay. Well, it was good. But then after that, I don't think I even watched the last season of What If. And I've watched almost everything. The only thing I have not watched, like Disney Plus wise, has been Ironheart because I have zero interest in it. And I technically didn't watch Miss Marvel. I've seen clips from Miss Marvel, and then of course I've watched the Marvels, but I just also wasn't interested in watching the Miss Marvel either, honestly. And which is hilarious because I actually enjoyed her character in this. She was in Marvel Zombies. She was the lead character of Marvel Zombies. And I understand why they did make it Spider-Man, because, you know, they didn't technically make it a Spider-Man movie, and that might cause Marvel some legal problems when it comes to Sony. And at this point, Sony just needs to sell Spider-Man, honestly. Just give it to Marvel, and then we can just get on with our day, and then Marvel can have all their property back, and that or Disney can just buy Sony at this point. Just buy Sony. I mean, for good Lord, we're having Paramount trying to buy Warner Brothers, and that's a whole discussion that I'll kind of talk about too a little bit later. But yeah, I thought Marvel Zombies was really good. And it's interesting to me how they did it, and probably the best thing Marvel's put out since Endgame. Like, it legitly was good. It was legitly good. And speaking of good, and I'm gonna kind of like segue a little bit here. I do want to talk about the Toxic Avenger, just because I just wrote my draft for my blog post, which will go out later this week, or it'll be out by the time this is released to the public. It's weird because I do this content all in like a couple days and then release it over the course of the week, and sometimes I forget like when I release stuff, so I have to remember, I'm saying this, but then I haven't put that out yet. But yeah, for Toxic Avenger, it was fine. It was a solid movie. I was kind of surprised by it, really, when I heard an announcement of it like 4 years ago. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago I heard about it. And I was like, oh, they're making a Toxic Avenger movie reboot? Like, that's weird. Like, who cares? Like, I mean, the originals are grudgy and stuff like that. But yeah, if you guys want to read my article, just head over to MajinPlanet.com, and under the blog you can find it. Find it there. My Toxic Avenger discussion post about it. What else? I did see Weapons. Weapons was a really good movie as well. It's actually probably the better, like, just non-superhero, like franchisey kind of movie I've seen in like a while and stuff like that. I have been watching Peacemaker. Now, I made the conscious decision to not react to Peacemaker, and the reasoning behind that is because I haven't actually watched season 1. I have watched clips of season 1. I have seen the ending of season 1. I honestly didn't have any interest in Peacemaker originally, but I wanted to see what they were doing, and I watched the first episode, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of good. And I was like, okay, let's give it a try, you know. So I am caught up to episode, I want to say 6, I think is the last episode that came out. And so everything that's been going on with Peacemaker, I'm just like, yeah, that was kind of obvious. And I think it's really interesting that they're already introducing the multiverse in DC, which is a smart move to do. It's a very, very smart move to do. Just kind of casually say, hey, yeah, the multiverse is just part of this. That way, because then you can have the Matt Reeves Batman and you can have another Batman, which I still find ridiculous and kind of goofy that they're doing that. But the Batman made so much money, despite people maybe not liking it. I feel like it has what I call the Lord of the Rings effect ending, where it has like multiple endings because we have to explain everything. We have to go with everything. Like, you know, there's a point in that movie where I thought this is where it should end, and then it just kept going. But yeah, so I digress. I thought it was fine, and you know, they're making a sequel. You know, I didn't watch the Penguin show, so you know, I wasn't interested in watching that really. And which is funny because I watched all of Gotham, which was basically he didn't become Batman, I think, until like the last episode, I think it was. But yeah, it's been interesting. So I've been watching Peacemaker, so I'm all caught up on Peacemaker, and I think it's fine. It's not cinema, but I mean it's entertaining and it's kind of like oh, that's cool that they're doing that and stuff like that. In terms of that, I haven't watched anything else in the last like month. I have been casually watching all of Psych again. It comes down to this thing where I don't think I want to talk about because I haven't really talked about it. And those of you who may be listening may be wondering what happened to all the reaction content, like the pivot away from reaction content. Even though I'm still doing reaction content, I'm just doing it in a very, very different way because I got hit with a copyright strike on YouTube because of one episode of Number One Sentai Go Jujer. And it was really weird to me that particular, like, episode 18 was the episode that got hit. And I did some research, and the first thing I did was I unlisted all Kamen Rider and Ultraman and Sentai from the channel, and from the YouTube channel, and I was like, okay, well, that should save it. And I was like, oh, even if I have them unlisted, the system can still flag them for copyright. And the last thing I needed, because I couldn't watch the video on YouTube because it was blocked because of the strike, but I still have all the video episodes, like, edited, like, on my computer. And so I pulled it up and watched my edit, and I was like, this is nothing any more different than what I put out. And, you know, it's a little less edited than some of my other episodes, but it was still edited. Like, it was a 10 minute, I think it was like an 8-minute video with, like, you know, a minute intro, you know, 4 to 5 minutes, about 4 to 5 minutes of actual footage shown, and then, like, I think a minute or two of, you know, discussion at the end, and it was a very light discussion. So it was really interesting to me that it got copyright strike, and I was like, well, if this one got hit, then any of the other ones could get hit too. So I ended up deleting all of those videos. I just deleted all of them off the channel. And yeah, that cost me a lot of views, and I'm sure it's cost me a lot of subs. People like, you know, just, well, he's not doing that content anymore. I made the conscious decision to do, I've been doing the Godzilla stuff, and I ended up deleting those as well because it's also Toei. But I mean, I don't know, man. I look at it this way, like, it kind of upsets me and annoys me a bit because there's lots of other reaction channels out there that do show way more and all that. And I probably could have fought it, but I was like, you know what? I don't know if I really want to fight this because, you know, I don't know if I have any legal ground or how I could say, yeah, it's fair use. You know, I only use, you know, X amount of footage, and I'm just talking over it and giving my opinion and stuff like that. So I thought to myself, you know, I'd rather just not fight it. And so I decided that, you know, and I already started watching Ultraman Omega. So I made the conscious decision to release, like, for on the website, I'll just release one reaction series at a time. And I decided, you know what, I'll give the Godzilla movies a chance again. So I've been re-uploading. I did a little bit of, like, more editing on them, and then re-uploaded. Like, I think I have 3 episodes. 3 movies have been done so far. I've actually done 4 already. I'll have the 5th one out by the end of this week, and just so they'll release on Saturdays, and, you know, they'll be extremely heavily edited. And then if you want to watch my full reaction, you can just head to MajinPlanet.com, and you can watch the full, and I say uncut reaction is like my uncut reaction. There's no footage at all, other than, like, snippets that you can keep timed, so you can keep with a timer, so you can keep timed with it. And that's kind of how I've been doing my Sentai footage as well. Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, all that is 100% time based. So, you know, there's no footage shown. So, you know, the only footage I show is the edited reactions, which it's one of those weird things. Is like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it because I have Ultraman Omega, and it's like right now I'm just like, you know, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't know how I want to handle it. But in hindsight to all that, you know, I have been enjoying reacting to, you know, pick chosen shows like Kamen Rider, Sentai, you know, Ultraman I'll react to, but I think I want to keep them to exclusively to the website, because that gives more incentive to go to the website, which is kind of my goal, you know. And YouTube is YouTube, but I'm almost using YouTube more as like a hosting service to host the videos for the website versus just trying to grow on YouTube. And that's kind of been my pivot in the last month, is like, since that copyright strike happened, I was like, you know what, I want to be in a place where I have more control. And so what I can post on YouTube, I will post, but then I do have other means to post content that may be more risky or more perceptible to YouTube's random AI filters of detection. Even though there's nothing wrong with it, I use offsite hosting for that and for the website, which, because it costs me money to do that, it's going to cost you guys money. Not as much money. It costs me more money than what you guys would pay out, but it is what it is. But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of been like the whole like direction with the website, and that's what leads me into my next point that I want to talk about, is my 90-day challenge. So what I'm doing is I want to post 7 days a week content, but I'm not gonna I'm posting on YouTube 7 days a week. That's not really what it's kind of am, but kind of not. So right now I plan on doing 3 full videos per week on YouTube, a toy video, a reaction video. I might I'm thinking about maybe I might test it this week and you might have already seen it if you're watching this. I might do like a collaboration, like what did I react to this week? So like I might do like snippets of Kamen Rider Ultraman, like hype moments and stuff like that. I put them into like one collage, like reaction video, and post that up once a week. And then I'll do the full movie reaction on Saturdays for like Godzilla. And then Friday will be my Prime Talk podcast episodes. And that'll be kind of like how roundabout way for full videos on YouTube for the month. And then for the week, sorry. And then I'll trickle in a shorts 3 times a week on off days. And then I'm going to be posting 7 days a week shorts on Instagram. Well, I shouldn't say Instagram. A couple days on Instagram Reels, but I'll be doing 7 days on TikTok shorts. And then I'll be posting also in between Reels on Instagram. I'll also be posting like, little photo shoots I'll be doing with like action figures and stuff like that. I'll be blogging 3 times a week, and there'll be 7 days a week of free content and 3 days a week of Super One membership content on the website. So there'll be plenty of content to go around for everybody, and I'm got the message board going, and I'm hoping to get more interaction on there and get feedback and see what you guys really want to see. But yeah, I plan on doing weekly content, and I'm kind of hoping to get a little bit ahead so that I'm not like struggling to get the entire week done on a couple of days. It's kind of what I'm doing right now, is just doing it all in one day, because I gotta have the motivation. I want to keep myself busy and stuff like that. But so a couple things. Let's go dive into some toys, stuff that I got this last month. Again, future episodes will be what I got the previous week, but since it's been like over a month. So let's go ahead and talk about some stuff I got. One of the fun things that I purchased that I was really excited to get was I got the Last Night Dragoon, which is the Transformers: The Last Night Megatron. I really like that design, even though so the thing about that movie was garbage, but I loved all the designs. I thought out of all the Bay movies, those were the most unique designs they did, and especially Age of the Extinction had some really, really good designs. I did get also. And that's from the Unique Toys, by the way. It was Unique Toys Dragoon. They finally re-released it, so I was super excited about that because it's been out of couldn't get it for a while, and I just was like, I'm not paying the effort price for it. I think I paid like $80-$90 for it, which is not too bad. I also bought Drift. The Drift was from, I'm trying to remember, I think Drift was from Metagate. They made 2 versions. They made one version, it's the Last Night version, so it's the red colored variation. The first one, he just turns into the car, and then the second one goes the car to the helicopter. I could not get it to transform into the helicopter. I got it I didn't even get it halfway. I got the arms somewhat trying to get them to control into the like it just would not connect. And I said, screw it, I'm not even going to bother the helicopter. I'm never going to display in helicopter mode. The vehicle mode looks great, but, and he's going to be posed in robot mode most of the time anyways, so I didn't even bother to try to continue transforming that thing, and I don't think it's a bad transformation. The pegs didn't want to peg in, and I was like, okay, I'm not even going to mess with this anymore. The other thing that I did get, which I am in love with, is I got the Unique Toys Prue Killer, which is their version of Lockdown. It's actually one of the very first ones they did. And now actually, I actually bought that off of directly from Magic Square. So Magic Square's website, apparently they are also releasing toys, their own toys, plus they're releasing DX9 and Unique Toys. I'm pretty sure DX9 and Unique Toys are the same company, and it's also giving me kind of an indication that they may be probably part of Magic Square too, which is interesting to me. And I'm really worried because I really want to get a Bruticus. I really want to get a Bruticus, and I have all of them except for Blastoff. And now there's been some speculation or news that Magic Square is having some financial problems with paying the factories in China, because the Chinas have filed suit against Magic Square for not paying their notes for use of factories. And so there's been no CADs, there's been nothing released on Blastoff at all, and that's really unfortunate, really, really unfortunate. So I've just got the crew, just missing Blastoff, because Blastoff is also, unfortunately, also comes with the pans and everything to because right now you can't combine anything. I mean, you can turn them all to their combiner parts. You can kind of connect Vortex and Onslaught together because he did come with the chest piece and all that, but it's not really complete. Another thing that I want to point out is from Unique Toys too, their Terracon. I actually did not know that there was an issue with the legs, not being able to not disconnect them properly from the body, and he was in abomination mode for so long. And I was like, well, he's a chug size figure. I kind of want to have him like, it's a cool that I can do it, but I want to have him in robot mode, and because it doesn't scale right with Minosaur or anything like that I have, and those are in P scales. So I was moved to a different shelf, and I ended up breaking Gar. I think I can fix it. He's sitting on my desk right now. I still haven't tried to fix it, and I'm a little bummed out about that. I'm really terrible when it comes to opening figures too. Like, I'm just gonna like point out there to you guys, like, a lot of times when I buy stuff, it just sits, and it just sits, and I forget about it, and it piles up. Like, I gotta open everything, right? I did when I went to Disneyland, the middle of August. I went back home to see my dad and brother. We went to Disneyland, and it was kind of an interesting. It was an interesting place, because I get anxiety really bad, and I don't know why. I grew up in the 80s. I grew up around people. Like, I grew up in a time when you just left the house and went to your friend's house. But as I've gotten older, I have really, really just gotten really antisocial. Like, I just don't want to do anything with anybody. I'll get bursts of energy where I don't know if it's just like some kind of like medical condition where I just don't have the energy, or like, but just going out and doing stuff, I just don't have the energy. And I don't know, it's because I don't have anybody to build that energy up with, cause sometimes like with like either Mr. J or somebody like that, I can go do stuff and do interactive stuff, like go shopping or go to like an amusement park. But like when I went to Disney, I really got drained halfway through the day. But I was by myself. Like, my brother was there with me. My brother and his girlfriend were off doing their own thing, and I didn't want to be a third wheel. Like, let's just be honest. I didn't want to be the third wheel. And I was just kind of like, I had nobody really to talk to really share the experience of, like, this is really cool. And so it was really bumming me out being in Disneyland. And on top of that, I was dealing with a bunch of drama at the same time, like online drama. And it's one of those things where I just like, you know what? I don't need to deal with this anymore. And it spilled over the course of several weeks after that. And I'm just like, I can't anymore. I can't with this drama. I just can't. Like, if you give me drama, I'm going to move on. I just don't want to deal with it anymore. So I ended up, so there was that situation, and it was dealing with it during Disneyland. But I did get my lightsaber. So that was super cool. I did build my lightsaber. So I'm super excited about that. And the other thing that I did, which was really, 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 really cool, was that I went and I did the Tower of Terror, the Guardians of the Galaxy Breakout ride. If you guys know what that is, it drops you up and down. I'm not a fan. I still went on it. And as a result of me going on it, I'm just like, but the Avengers Avengers Camp was really cool. And I'm actually excited. And I told myself I'm going to save money and I'm going to go to Disneyland next year. And I did record a bunch of stuff, and I haven't released it yet. I have a whole bunch of videos from my trip, because we also went to the Warner Brothers studio, and so I got footage, at Warner Brothers lot, and I got some footage at Universal and some footage at Disneyland, and some other like toy hunt video footage I got in Vegas, and I haven't released any of it yet, and I just haven't had the motivation to do it yet. That too, and I don't know if anybody's gonna actually watch it, because like I've done toy hunts before and nobody's watched them, and I'm just like, ugh, And so, but what I was gonna say is I ended up getting I bought the little box that Captain America had at the end of Endgame that had all the stones in it, but you don't get the Mind Stone. And I didn't know. I knew that because they told me you have to buy the gauntlet to get the Mind Stone. But I was like, I don't want to buy the gauntlet. I already have the gauntlet. I just want the Mind Stone. So that is like kind of unfortunate that I don't have the Mind Stone. But it is what it is. And then I also bought the Tony Stark arc reactor. The one, the first one, that said, proof that Tony Stark has a heart, which is super cool. And that's going to go in my Iron Man little display. And I haven't figured out where I'm going to put that yet. I'm probably going to buy a shelf and put that across and just kind of figure it out that way. Because I've got my fan home Iron Man suit that I'm building, which I have to work on, and I have my Lich King fan home that I'm also working on. I thought about making content out of it, but it's just something cool for me to do. I don't really need to. I might do like a final video, like this is like the journey of it. But I haven't really. I tried recording the first couple like bags, and it is so difficult to do on the camera with a camera in front of me. It was so difficult, so I just said screw it. I mean, I might try maybe over the top overhead cameras, but we'll see. we'll see how it goes over the course of the next couple of weeks. 'Cause I do have this month's box sitting on my table right now. Actually, and I also was missing parts from the last month's box, which thankfully I when I got to the point of opening it, and I was like, oh yeah, and I emailed them and said, hey, I'm sorry, I just now opened this and was building stuff and realized that it's missing pieces. Is there any way I can get those pieces? What's the price? It's, oh, no charge, we'll just send them to you. So I thought that was really cool that they just sent the piece that I was missing. So I'm really excited for that. So I'll have the display stand because that's what it was that was missing. In terms of what I got at the con, unfortunately I didn't get, man, look, I got a little rant here. So I went to the con, and on Sunday, I didn't go Sunday. I was almost going. I was there. Like, I got close. But I got so annoyed, and my anxiety went up so high because they had blocked off every single which way to get into the convention center because they had some kind of, like, marathon going on. And I'm like, that's cool. You're going to do a marathon, that's cool. But don't do it on a Sunday. And do it on a Sunday, but don't do it through a convention center when you know the convention center has stuff going on. Like I was able to pull into the convention center, but it was on the opposite side of like a baseball field. And then like the only exit way to get in to go over to the convention center, they had blocked off because of the runners and like walkers or whatever. And I was so annoyed with it. I was like, okay, cool. I'm just going home. I told Mr. J, I'm sorry, man, I'm going home. There was some artwork that I was interested in, but it's not like I can't go online and purchase their artwork anyways. So it's not like a huge deal, and I'd probably be cheaper to buy it online anyways if I really wanted it. And then on top of that, there wasn't anything. There was one vendor. I don't know the name of the vendor. I don't know if he was local or anything like that. And I don't like to call people out on their prices, but this was just straight up ridiculous. So there was the only vendor there that had a lot of Transformers, and they had mostly, you know, I think it was like 2 years ago when Hasbro released for Christmas I think it was just to Walmart. There were these 2-packs. And I know because I bought one of the 2-packs. Now, all these 2-packs were all like Studio Series figures and I think Legacy figures that I already had. And two of them I bought one Legacy figure, a set, which was like a Spider Dude from Beast Wars, and then Elita 1. Because I wanted the Elita 1. I was like, okay, I'll take the Spider guy too, I guess. And then I bought RC and Sideswipe Studio Series, and I already own both of those figures. I haven't opened that package yet, and the only reason I bought those was because I had the idea of I was going to customize them. I was gonna repaint them, and I just didn't want to ruin my original copies. So this is the reason why I bought a dupe. And plus, I got them when they were on clearance too, because those didn't even sell for Christmas. They were $30, and nobody even bought them. Because they were just probably figures that were just they had and nobody was buying them, you know. It's like, so like it is what it was. But one figure that I did pass on because I thought it was kind of lame was Soundwave, and it was when he was the what do you call it? He was the satellite from Dark of the Moon. Yeah, it was Dark. Was it? No, it was Revenge of the Fallen. Revenge of the Fallen. He was the satellite, and I ended up just going, okay, cool. But they wanted $40 for it. And I was like, hey, I'll wait till Sunday and see if he'll drop the price. But the reason why I bring up this vendor, and I find it really ridiculous, was because they had the Nemesis. I don't know if you guys remember that. They released it was for Legacy. They released the Nemesis that also transformed just like the Ark did from War of Cybertron. And having it as a piece for the Nemesis is cool. And I think it was originally retailed at $150. The guy wanted $390. No, yeah, I wanted $390 for it, and Mr. J was interested in it, and I was like, I'm not paying over $200 for it. I would never pay more than that for a Titan class because that's what they are right now. You know, it's just I don't need it that bad. But Mr. J was like, you know, if he would take, like, I forget what he said he would take for it, and he asked what was the lowest they would take, and I thought he said $250. I was like, that's not too bad. He said no, $350, and I was like, oh. Well, that's $350. Are you kidding me? And he's like, well, no, I'll wait until Sunday. And he ended up messaging me and told me that he asked them if they would take, would they take $250 for it? And they said, nope, they won't take anything less than $350. And so Mr. J just walked away from the booth. And that was ridiculous. The other thing that was ridiculous is they had the sail barge and they had the HISS tank, the HAZLAP ones. But they were signed, and it wasn't like the boxes were signed. They were out of the boxes, and they were signed, physically signed by voice actors and stuff like that, you know, and they wanted outrageous prices for them too. And I'm just like, that's cool and all, but I don't want them signed, dude. Like, I wouldn't buy this barge anyways because I don't collect anything Star Wars really. And his tank, like, while I collect retro G.I. Joe stuff, I'm just like, I'm just not into that, man. I just don't. I don't like buying signed stuff because I wasn't there. It has no meaning to me if it's signed. Now, if I buy it and take it somewhere and it gets signed, that's a different story. But yeah, so that was kind of that. I was going to buy the Power Sword, you know, He-Man's Power Sword, but the only 2 vendors that were selling swords this time, and I was looking at it and I was like, that's just, like, I don't like it. It doesn't look good. Now, I bought the Thundercats one, the Sword of Omen, last year. Looks great. I mean, granted, it's in his holster, hanging on the wall, but it looks great. Even when you take it out, it looks great. But those Power Swords look terrible. Like, the hilts look fine, but the blade was just... There's just no. I was like, it was a pass. I'm passing on him, dude. I'm not doing it. I did buy a She-Hulk Marvel Legend figure finally, and I did buy the Toei Spider-Man because I had missed out on that, and I paid like $30 for. I paid $90 total for those 2 figures, which I overpaid a little bit. Yes, I probably could have got the She-Hulk on clearance somewhere, but I never saw it on clearance, and I only saw it like twice when it came out, and then I was just one of those things. It was whatever, you know. As much as the show sucked, I do like the character She-Hulk, and I did want an MCU version of the She-Hulk, so she's on my little makeshift Marvel shelf right now. And then Toei Spider-Man went with my Spider-Verse display. And Mr. J gave me a figure, Toxin, I think is what his name is. He's a symbiote, just to go on my symbiote shelf. I'm still hoping that they'll release some of the more symbiotes from the movie, even though The Last Dance was crap, I didn't like it. I mean, it was fine, but I just didn't. Those Venom movies were But the designs for the symbiotes were spot on. They did at least a good job of actually doing the symbiotes correctly in terms of their design. Character is a different story. But anyways, that's all I got really that I can think of. I didn't really get anything else really. I did get from Starfighter Comics, which is in Sioux City. And they're great. If you're in Sioux City, check out Starfighter Comics. This is not a sponsorship or anything. They're just probably one of the best comic book stores I've ever been to. They're the best, like, in terms of their customer service and like just their. I mean, it does help that I know the guys that run it, but they're just so friendly. They're just so opening and welcoming to their community and people like that. There's very few comic book stores. Actually, there's no comic book stores other than them that I've been to that do that, and that's just check them out. You know, I think they have a website too. But yeah, I did buy. What did I buy from them? I bought something. Oh, I bought a magic figure for my little display of random stuff. Because I was like, no, actually, I put it up with my Shivan Dragon because I was kind of planning on buying more magic figures to go along with that little display. But yeah, that's kind of all I did. I had about $500 for that con. I think I might have spent $150. I don't think I even spent that. Yeah, I think I spent, because that figure was like $20. That was like $20 there. Another vendor had some Godzilla figures. They weren't Figure Arts figures, but then as I was looking at them, I was like, I don't know if these are knockoffs. These might be KOs, and they were overpriced KOs. And I was like, I don't know. I don't trust it. I was going to buy some statues. There was a couple statues from this one vendor, but it's there every year. They have tons and tons of, like, you know, PC, you know, those standard statues that you get like GameStop, you know, like they're usually like $30-$40. But I just couldn't do it. I was like, I don't know. Because, like, they don't have any prices on anything. And you'd ask them, oh, that was $50. That's $60. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I want to spend that, you know. So, yeah, I didn't buy anything from them. Yeah, I didn't spend a lot of money this year at that con, which is unfortunate. And I almost, like, I said to myself, like, the panels were cool, and I'm not the type of guy, like, I don't like going and meeting celebrities. Like, I don't care. Like, I think it's cool sometimes. Like, if you run into them naturally, I like it's cool to have a conversation with them or whatever, because they're just people. But, like, I don't like going up to like last year, like, Ted DiBiase was there, and, like, I watched a lot of his wrestling stuff. And I'm like, I'm not gonna go up to you and go, oh my god, you're my childhood and blah blah blah. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like you know, how many people come up to them and say that? Like, it's just it's just, to me, it's cringe. Or I need to get your signature, you know, because, you know, it might be worth something some days. Like, I don't like doing that. I don't have any signatures. I know my brother is big. He got a lot of his Funko Pops signed. Him and his friend were really, I think they still are, like, maybe not Funko Pops, but like really into meeting celebrities and stuff like that. And I'm just not into that. They're just people, and I'm not interested in getting your signature to sell it when you die. Like, it's just, I don't know. It bugs me. It doesn't bug me. It doesn't bother me that people do it. I'm just not interested in it. And I feel like going to a lot of cons, especially that particular con, is kind of the way you go. And now that I'm thinking about it, and I kind of thought about it before, I don't think I'm going to go next year. I think I might skip it. I think I might go on a Saturday, or maybe on a Friday. I might go on a Saturday because I normally have Saturdays off, and that's about it. I'll go one day, but I don't think I'm going to make it like a whole weekend kind of thing again, because I paid $50 for the weekend. I only went 2 days, and honestly, it wasn't worth it. Now, the cosplay, it was the first time I actually sat to watch the cosplay competition, and there was some really, really good cosplays, but there was a horde of terrible ones. And it was interesting because I saw a lot of great looking ones. There was a ton of really great cosplays there that didn't even enter the contest. And I'm not sure, I don't really know like what the stipulations are, but if you, and I've done cosplay myself, and there's cosplay that I want to do, but I'm very subconscious about it. Like, people are going to make fun. Like I feel like, oh, well, I'm a big guy, so I can't cosplay certain characters because I just feel like I wouldn't embody that character. And so I don't do it. But I applaud the people that have the brave balls and the bravery to do that when they're not physically fit to look like the character. And there was lots of people in this competition, probably like at least 5 or 6 people, that got up on stage and basically just a t-shirt and jacket saying, I'm that character. Like, I was like blown away. I was blown away by it. And there were some people that they're like, you can tell they're professionals. And like, there was a $500 prize, and I thought it was kind of ridiculous. And I thought to myself, this feels like, the person who ended up winning, I personally wouldn't have thought they won, based off of what I saw. But it was really cool though. There was somebody who cosplayed as the Amazing Spider, as the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and his costume was so good because I ended up having to stand the entire like hour and a half competition because all the seating they took almost all the seating away for cosplay. Like, when they get off the stage, just sit, and they only use like the first 3 rows, and there's all this open, and I was like, why can't we sit? But it was whatever. And then there was the other side, which had already filled up because I wasn't aware that they were going to take the one side away, and so I was like, oh crap, But I ended up standing the entire time, but in the corner of my eye, this guy popped up, and he was standing there, and he was in a full Spider-Man costume, straight out of the movie. And I was like, I literally, you could have told me it was Andrew Garfield in costume, and or his stuntman, and I would have believed you. Like, that's how good it was. And I was talking to Mr. J and Scotty Doo. Shout out to Scotty Doo. He's another person at our job who he was there that day. And I was like, we were kind of talking about, like, man, that guy should have been in this contest. Like, holy crap. And I was like, yeah, but he probably didn't enter because his costume's probably not the difference. See, cosplay is one of those things where, like, and I don't have to explain that to you, but you make the costume. And his costume was probably professionally made, and he probably bought it. So, because it was too good. There's no way he handmade it. It was probably a Halloween costume that he purchased online. Like, it was really, really good. It was like studio quality good. Like, he could be a stand-in for like a stuntman, or just like a stand-in for a shot or two of that movie. So it was just really good. But yeah, but I thought the competition was fine. But taking that into account, that I did that, the couple panels that I did go to and I sat into, the how to be a podcaster was a really good panel. And there was another one I went to, was like how to be a comic book artist, or how to make comic books. But both of those panels, I could have just watched the YouTube video about that stuff. I didn't have to physically go and sit on the panel and stuff like that. So it was like, was this worth $50 to me? It really wasn't. It really, really wasn't worth the money to me. So like I said, next year I'm probably not going to go. But then again, the whole year, I don't even know if I'll be in the area to do it next year. I really want to go. I really want to do a TFCon. That's kind of my goal for 2026, is to go to Disney. I want to go to Disneyland every year. Like, look, I'm 42 years old. I'll be 43 this fall. I want to just live my life, and I spent so much time not going to Disneyland because I thought I couldn't go. It wasn't for me anymore. I outgrew it. But you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna enjoy it. Even though I think this time that I went, I felt uncomfortable because I was with my brother and his girlfriend, and it for some reason it just made me feel. I'm happy for my brother. I'm really happy for him, but it just made me feel like I was a third wheel. And I'm sure he would like, dude, he wouldn't even cared if I hung out with them the entire time. I mean, I kind of got annoyed because they were going on some rides. And I was like, dude, I don't want to go on this ride. Like, what the hell? And I was just like, and like, I'm sure he was a little like, whatever. But like, it was one of those things where I'm just like, it's cool and all. But and then of course, I think what really killed the mood for me was the drama that I was going on almost at the same time in my life. And I'm not going to go into the details about it because it's, it doesn't matter. But it really bothered me to the point where I was just like, like, why can't things just be normal? Why can't I have normal friends and normal relationships and not have to deal with people doing X, Y, and Z? And then me having to have to defend my boundaries that I put up initially. Like, why do I need to defend those? And why is it okay that people mistreat me and use me and stuff like that? And that's just like, I hated it. So I want to go to Disneyland again and maybe go to Universal too again without that drama. And maybe I'll have a better time. I feel like I'll have a better time. I also did get, when I was at Universal, mind you, since I remember now, I did get the exclusive Optimus Prime and Bumblebee figures. And I did not open them. I don't know why I didn't open them, but I didn't open them. If I go again, I might buy another set and I'll open that set up. But I don't know. I just didn't want to open it. I don't know. I'm weird like that. Like, I'm not an inbox collector, but there's some things like all the G1 reissues, like the Soundwave, the Starscream, and the Constructicon set. I didn't open. I just didn't open them. It's weird. But I just want to point out, guys, that I've been having a really fun time today recording this, and I'm glad I took the time to do this, and hope you guys enjoyed listening. And what I want to say, if you guys want to email me any questions or give any feedback, I'll read it on the air. Just email me at webmaster@MajinPlanet.com, and I will definitely email you. I'll email you back for sure, and I'll also answer your question on the podcast here. And hopefully we'll have some guests here in the future, and we'll be able to do more stuff with it. But I'm just gonna do it weekly. I don't even care if I ramble for an hour or whatever, how long I end up going. It is what it is. But yeah, I do have some figures that are on the way, so hopefully we'll be able to talk about those next week. And hopefully I'll have some more things I'll talk about next week as well. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, until next time.